Hey everyone, I'm Dan from JazzComposersPresent.com, an online space where composers, musicians, and listeners come together to celebrate the music we love. I'm joined today by Helen Sung, pianist, composer, Guggenheim Fellow, Steinway Artist, and inaugural Jazz Artist in Residence at Columbia University's Zuckerman Institute. Helen is here to show us how to start your journey as a composer.
Hi everyone, it is a pleasure to be on Jazz Composers Present. Thank you for that kind introduction, and I'm really happy to be able to share how I started my journey as a composer, and hopefully it will give you some ideas to take that step and begin writing your own music. As someone who was classically trained, I never thought about writing music. I thought, I was the pianist who played music composers wrote. So when I made that plunge, took that plunge into jazz, after I was almost done with my undergraduate degree in classical piano studies, I was lucky enough to get into a program called the Thelonious Monk Institute of Jazz Performance. It's been renamed the Herbie Hancock Institute, and just had the opportunity of a lifetime to work with the masters of the music, including bass icon and legend, Sir Ron Carter, who was the artistic director. And he said something that really changed my view of what it meant to be a musician in general. He said, if you want to find your own voice in this music, you need to write your own music. So every time he came through, which was about once every 2 weeks, we would have to have a new composition ready for him. And, he's played literally on thousands of recordings. So all types of music, every possible style you could think of, forms and just genres. So he was such a great resource in critiquing our pieces and suggesting, things like, well, this section needs to be tightened up, or this needs to have more space to breathe, and think about this harmonically. He said, I'm such a master of harmony. So it was an incredible experience. And really today I enjoy composing almost as much as performing. And so today I want to share with you a little bit about my first piece that I ever thought was good enough to keep. And I still play it sometimes today, and it's called The Waiting Game. And I recorded it fittingly on my first album ever called Push. So can we take a listen and look at The Waiting Game? Well, I think the first point I would say is just start composing. A great composer arranger, Gil Goldstein, said it's so important just to write something every day, just to, it's just like practicing. It's a daily practice. So just start, just do it. And as time passes, I think paths of exploration and ideas will make themselves known, and also things will come into focus for you as you write. Secondly, I would say, as artists, we value the word inspiration. But I think sometimes inspiration, it's important, but sometimes it comes in unexpected kind of common places. So I would say don't wait for that thunderbolt to come from the sky. And for instance, the Waiting Game, the components of the piece, it's AABA with an intro. The intro material comes back on the B section, which is the bridge. That I would say is really from me. And I don't really remember where it came from. And I think it comes in contrast to the A section, which I was having trouble improvising over the 2 half diminished to 5/7 progression, one of the variants of the 2/5/1. And so I thought, well, let me write a piece that uses this progression so that I can practice playing it. And so, other famous pieces that use this, one I can think of right now is Woody and You, Dizzy Gillespie. And so the first part of the A section is really inspired by that, just using that progression. And the second half of the A section, I actually borrowed the concept from the introduction of a McCoy Tyner piece called Inception. So it's a very active A section. I think the first part, the 2/5, really reflects my classical upbringing, maybe in the call and response between the right and left hand, just the style of the melody and how it outlines the changes, and then going down the McCoy Tyner's just cycling through the diminished cycle. So maybe the bridge is more static. The melody is just, on that one note, dun, da, 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 dun, da. And then at the end, there's this hemiola where we're playing groups of 3 over 4/4, which I realized as I've reviewed my just writing history, I really like playing with rhythm. I think because that's one area that I've always felt I needed a lot of work on, being a classically trained musician, a lot of times, just how we interpret rhythm is so different than jazz artists. So there you go. The piece is relatively, straightforward, simple. The introduction comes back and the bridge, the A, B, A. Oh, and the A section it's not 8 bars each for each section. That was by accident, just something that I was hearing. So I just want to encourage all of you to put that pen to the paper or to your finger to the mouse pad on Sibelius or whatever other program you might be using and start writing music. You might find that you're writing pieces that first sound like other people's pieces, but that's okay. You just keep refining, keep writing, and you will start finding your own voice. So have a great journey. Start to the journey, and hopefully we'll see you or hear you somewhere soon.
Thanks for watching today's mini lesson. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Drop any questions, comments, or suggestions for future videos down below. To watch our full-length events and participate in live Q&As with our presenting artists, head to jazzcomposerspresent.com. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.